What's up guys, Onmaths here, and today we're looking at circles, and we've got some quite challenging questions in this video. So if you want to understand the basics of circles, go to our website onmaths.com, where we've got loads of simpler questions for you. But this starts off with AQA's question, which there's a lot going on here, and it says there's 8 spokes, so we need to figure out what a spoke is. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these things. So I'm assuming those are spokes, and they are. Those of you familiar with bicycles will know what a spoke is. So essentially all of these are 8 across, okay? Every single one of them, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. So to find the length of the spokes, because we're looking for the total length of everything, all we need to do is do 8, or in fact those aren't 8, they're 37. Read the question. So each of those are 37, not 8. Right, so to find the total length of the spokes, obviously it's just going to be 8 times 37. So length of spokes. And just always write down for the examiner what it is you're working out. So we're just going to do 8 times 37. And this is a calculator paper, so I get my calculator out. 8 times 37, and that's 296. And that would be centimetres, but I normally only put units in at the end unless we've got multiple units going on. Now it does say that it wants the length of the rim. Now the rim is the outside bit, it's this bit here, badly drawn, but you know what I mean. So it is a circle, so we've got to figure out what the length of what the circumference of the circle is going to be. So we're going to do length of rim. Again, show the examiner what it is we're doing. And the formula for it is, so formula for circumference, which is just the length of the rim, is pi times the diameter. Now we're not given the diameter, but we are given the radius, it's 37. And if we see, the diameter is just 2 lots of that 37. So to find it out, we're just going to do 37 times 2. We're just going to double the radius. And get my calculator out. So in fact I might leave it as it is. I might do 37 times 2, and I can leave that as 74 pi for now. Okay, because if I worked out what that is now, I'd have to round it, and it means my answer won't be as accurate. So to find the total length, we're just going to add this one, so the length of the spokes, to the length of the rim. And now I can actually work it out. So 296 plus 74 times pi, and it gives me 528.4778 blah blah blah. Then I want to round my answer, so I'm going to round it to maybe 1 decimal place. So, and I'm just going to show the examiner 1 decimal place. That's what I've chosen to round it to. So 528.5 is my answer. Now weirdly, you could have left it as 74 pi plus 296. It's something called in terms of pi, but generally speaking on a calculator paper I would always write it as a decimal rounded. Next up is this OCR question, and these are quite common questions where you've got to find a shaded area, and generally speaking you're always going to find the area of the whole thing and take away the area of the bit you don't want. So the area, so we want to find out the area of the full circle, and we want to take away the area of the unshaded bit. So we're going to work out the big circle area first, and the formula for that is pi times r squared, okay, or pi r squared. So it's going to be pi times the radius, which is 6, because that's shown on the diagram, 6 squared. Now you might notice this is on the non-calculator paper, so I'm going to have to do this without a calculator. So it's pi times 36, 6 times 6, 36, and we can write that as 36 pi. Okay, just like if you had x times 36, you'd write 36x. it's the same kind of rules, but pi is not x. We know what pi is. It's just a very, very, well, it's an infinite decimal. I was going to say very, very long, but it's infinite. It goes on forever. So it's 36 pi for that. And we want to do the small circle. And you might be worried here because it says x as the radius, but the question asks you for an expression in terms of pi and x. So that's fine if that's in our answer. And it will have to be in our answer. So pi times x squared. And you can't really do very much with this, apart from, I don't know, just writing x. Well, in fact, actually, you're probably better writing the pi first, because the number always goes before the letter. So it would be pi x squared. So the shaded bit is going to be the big circle, which is this one here. So the big circle, take away the small circle. And so we'll leave with just the shaded bit without the small circle in. Okay. So the big circle is 36 pi. And we're going to take away the small circle, which the area is pi x squared. Now, there's a lot going on with this question, and there's a reason why it's quite late in the exam. What question is it? It's 21, so it's going to be a very high grade question. But each of those bits you know how to do. If you know that area equals pi r squared, you can do every single part of this question. And I know it's sad not having a calculator to do area of a circle, but you can see here that it's just simple arithmetic, 6 squared, knowing the number goes before pi. And then this one here is just literally writing the formula and just making sure that pi goes first. And then when you subtract them, you don't need to actually do anything, because you can't do 36 pi take away pi x squared. You can't simplify that anymore. You could factorize out the pi, but that's not a requirement in your answer at all. Last up, our Edexcel question. Now, I will remind you that I did say this was going to be slightly harder questions for this, because there's a lot of resources out there on our site and others that talk about how to do the basics of this. And these videos I really kind of want to try as far as I can to push us into understanding the harder questions. So I'm going to focus first with this question to work out what the shaded area is. So you can see here we've got a big quarter circle here, and we want to remove this semicircle from it. So we're going to find out the area of the quarter circle. So quarter circle. So the area is pi r squared, or pi times r squared. So we've got to find out the radius of this. So the radius, if you imagine that circle was a full circle, badly drawn, then you can see here the 20 centimeters there is the radius. So it's going to be pi times 20 squared. But because it's a quarter circle, we need to divide that by 4. I should have really put that in the formula as well, because it's the area of the full circle divided by 4, because it's only a quarter of a circle. Okay, so we need to divide it by 4. So we need to work out what 20 squared is, and you can do that any method you want. I would probably split up 20 into 2 times 10, and so it's 20 times 20, or 2 times 10 times 2 times 10, times the 2's together, which makes 4, times the 10's together, that makes 100, so it would be 400. So times 400, and then we need to divide it by 4. So we're going to divide that by 4, and that would be 100. Remember, the number goes before the pi, so it'd be 100 pi. Okay, we're going to do the semicircle next. So semicircle. If I can put in the right letters, which is this one here. That's this semicircle here. We're going to find out the area of it. So the area is, this time the radius is half the way across. So the radius is only 10, so it would be pi times 10 squared. And it's a semicircle, so it's going to be half of that. So that's going to be 100 pi. We still need to halve it, so that would be 50 pi. Okay, so next we want to work out the shaded area. And again, it's going to be the quarter circle, take away the semicircle. So it's going to be 100 pi, take away the 50 pi, which equals 50 pi. Now, if you end up with really difficult sums here and all sorts of numbers going on, just check you're working out, check you've done it correctly, because there's some easy mistakes that could be made here. Okay, next we need to work out the area of the square. I'll do it over here. So area of square. So I'm just showing the examiner what it is that I'm doing at all times. And the area of the square is just going to be 20 times 20. Because if this is the radius of the quarter circle, then this will be the same radius, and the fact it's a square, so it will always be 20 by 20. So that's going to be 400 because we've already worked that out. Okay, so it says it wants area of the shaded region over the area of the square. So the area of the shaded region we've said is 50 pi. The area of the square is 400. Okay, now we need to cancel that fraction down. Well, I can divide top and bottom by 10, so that would be 5 over 40. And I can divide top and bottom by 5, right? So that would be 1 over, so what's 40 divided by 5? Well, that would be 8. So that equals 1 pi, or just pi, over 8. And that's the answer in the question, so we know we've got it right. Not the easiest question at all, but again, see what I've done, broken it down, just worked out the bits, and then just tried to get as far as I can. Okay, and even if you get halfway, and you might get, I don't know, 2 of the 4 marks available for this question, that's absolutely fine. I mean, 2 marks on a grade 5 question, you're doing very well. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please click like. If you want to see more from us, we release videos every single weekday, Monday to Friday. Just click the subscribe icon and the bell, and you'll be notified of all the videos when we release them. If you want to see even more from us, go to our website onmaths.com, which there'll be a magical card that appears above me now to take you straight there. I'm sure you have already. If you don't know already, loads and loads of free resources for every single topic within maths. Keep your comments coming in the videos. I read all of them, and there's already been some really good suggestions, so keep those coming in. Otherwise, thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.